Regarding Chernobyl, I think it's reasonable to ask ourselves what happened, what caused this, and there was a lot of things that we could point to. We all basically agree it was a lot of incompetence. But then when we talk about, well, what were the incompetencies? Well, then it gets a little foggy. And so we've dissected some of those incompetencies here. They just did not follow procedures and processes.
Are we supposed to do those or not?
Yes, in the program there's instructions of what to do, and then there's a lot of things crossed out. Should I? Not be sure.
If any times you find that procedures are being handled just to check things off, but they're not really interpreting or dissecting as to what's happening actually here, and are these procedures working towards our favor or not, you are creating a disaster. Being against open communication. If you recall, when the Central Committee of Chernobyl got together, the elderly gentleman that tapped his cane and he got everyone's attention, he made it very clear.
We seal off the city. No one leaves. And cut the phone lines. Contain the spread of misinformation.
Anytime you are in a meeting, anytime you're in a conversation, and you can tell that people that should know certain information are not going to be notified, you are creating a Chernobyl. You're creating a catastrophe. Platitudes versus solutions. In the same meeting, they tried to get very practical about what are we going to do, and then quickly.
Vladimir I. Lenin. And how proud he would be of you all tonight. Have faith, comrades. Our faith in Soviet socialism will always be rewarded.
See, that's an attempt right there at someone not wanting to deal with the pace that's being presented to them, and now they want to talk ethereal, conceptual. It happens all the time in conversation. Bring the conversation from the ethereal and the conceptual down to the practical.
This is our moment to shine.
Number 4 is quick to find blame. When Legasov and Sherbina got out of the helicopter to go talk to the 2 administrators who were at fault, the first thing that they did...
We have begun our own inquiry into the cause of the accident, and I have a list of individuals who we believe are accountable.
Wait, we got bodies in the ground. Right now is not the time to figure out what happened. Right now we got to figure out how to solve this problem. Then we can figure out who's to blame. Whenever you see that being reversed, heads up, people are trying to cover.
Would you care to read Deputy Chairman Sherbina's report while you wait?
Certainly, thank you.
The 5th one you could say was almost at the core, no pun intended, and that is misinformation. So anytime that you can tell that there is data that's being shifted, information that, what happened to the back of the report, and you go, where's the report?
Bricano reports no more than 3.6 Röntgen. I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest x-rays. And as for the radiation...
Yes, 3.6 Röntgen, which, by the way, is not the equivalent of 1 chest x-ray, but rather 400 chest x-rays.
Whenever you can tell the data is not accurate or the data is not being favored, you're going to have a chemical reaction. And number 6, it's a platitude, but it's a very common one, and that is protecting sacred cows. Throughout the entire miniseries, you can tell that they're protecting the state.
All I hear is a man I don't know, engaging in conjecture, in direct contradiction to what has been reported by party officials.
And so they were constantly protecting incompetency. So whenever you find that sacred cows are being protected, then you are ready for a meltdown. Whether it's an entire town or whether it's your career, your investments, your profession, your firm, your company, a meltdown is a meltdown. It may not be as explosive as Chernobyl, but it's certainly going to impact you just as bad, because whenever decisions are made or decisions not made, things around you start melting down and you have to have a career shift because of what's going on. Boy, it sure would have been good to catch some of this stuff earlier. Commit yourself to not falling to these traps and be on the lookout. So follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and check us out our new website at teamrealworld.com.